everyone, Comic Reviewer here, and this time reviewing on Amazing Fantasy issue number 15. Now, as you know, this is the comic that started Spider-Man's career, and the one I've got is a reprint, and the cover is meant to have the iconic Spider-Man holding the bad guy, well, basically gangsters or police just look on. And the story mainly starts off how Peter Parker's looking at the cool kids, and one of them says, "Say gang, we need one more guy for the dance. How about Peter Parker over there?" "Are you kidding? That bookworm wouldn't know a cha-cha from a waltz." And so we see how Peter Parker has a good life with his Uncle Ben and Aunt May, and is appreciated at school, and even tries to ask Sally Averill out on a date, much like Spectacular Spider-Man. And you've got a going gagoo for Flash saying, "Not when dreamboats like Flash Thompson are around." "I admire your good taste, doll. Get lost, bookworm." And fun fact, in one of the later Spider-Man comics back in the 90s, Untold Tales of Spider-Man, she was accidentally killed in a car accident, which explains why you don't see her in any future stories. So Peter basically is rejected multiple times, and even says, "Someday I'll show them. Someday they'll be sorry that they laughed at me." And so, as you know, in the original continuity, Spider was attacked by atomic rays and ends up biting Spider-Man, or Peter Parker. So Peter wonders about his powers and quickly jumps out of the way from a incoming driver and basically scales through walls, and one kid looking on with the mum saying, "That's the last horror movie I take you to, young man." And so Peter sees his powers as this big gift, and as soon as he sees an ad for 100 to the man who can take down Crusher Hogan, Peter basically gets on his disguise and takes down a guy who looks like the actor who played Ben Grimm from the 2005 Fantastic Four film, or basically Brian Michael Bendis, who says, well, if it ain't the little Master Marvel. Step right up, sucker." And so he tries to go for him, but ends up getting creamed by Peter Parker. And one of the guys watching sees him as a big chance to have someone they were looking for, and even offers him to appear on a show. And after this, Peter basically gets to work on his powers and basically creates his web fluids, which I never understood why, because if he was bitten by the spider, he should have organic webbing. So of course Peter ends up appearing on TV and stuff, and even the producers are happy, saying, "Okay, Spider-Man, cut, that's enough. Don't show them too much. Leave them begging for more." And so Peter gets asked for offers and everything else, and soon one of the officers tries to capture a thief, saying, "Stop, thief! Stop him! He'll make it to the elevator. He'll get away." And so he lets him get away, and the officer berates Spider-Man for basically allowing this guy to get away, and Peter basically leaves, and hours later is given a telescope by Aunt May and Uncle Ben, which does play a key part in one of the 80s comics. So of course Peter keeps on appearing on news and stuff, and basically finds out from one of the officers then, "Bad news, son. Your uncle has been shot dead. Murdered." "Uncle Ben dead? No, it can't be." And he's like, it was a burglary. Your uncle surprised him." And he points out that he's at the Acme warehouse. So Peter basically gets into costume And this was before SWAT teams and that were invented, and they know they'll be picked off one by one if they charge in. So the guy thinks he's going to make a big break for it by basically waiting until the moon goes down and sees basically Spider-Man and goes in to confront the Uncle Ben's killer, and basically ends up beating him, saying, "And then my fists will do the rest." And suddenly, to his shock, he's like, that face, no, it can't be. It's the fugitive who ran past me, the one I didn't stop when I had the chance." And so the officer says, "I hate to do it, but we'll have to rush him now, and can't take any chance of him slipping by the dark. Captain, look!" And so the mugger basically gets tied up, and Peter's basically saying, "My fault, oh my fault. If I only had stopped him when I could have, but I didn't, and now Uncle Ben is dead." And this leaves Peter walking off into the night, now knowing great power comes with great responsibility. And the issue feels a bit rushed, but it's a solid origin story. Again, this was the 60s. Any comic with a simple origin would do. Keep in mind that comics like Ultimate Spider-Man and TV shows like Spectacular Spider-Man and even the Spider-Man movies always handled the origin better, as it was basically always meant to have a more time with Uncle Ben, as well as we get to see what role he played in, and other characters as well. So the issue deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.